Good morning, teacher and classmates. My name is Vera Lucia Sanabria, and my classmates are Raya Rivera and Vanessa Roa. And we are going to talk about the social movements, digital cleanup movement, work cleanup movement, and book sharing movement. And we will make a comparison of this.
Uh, The background information, these movements are organized groups created many years ago to defend, help, or promote a cause in the planet, sustained way over time with a common goal of social change around the world.
The main objective of this presentation is to make you know more about this movement, and you can collaborate in their cause in different ways according in your interest. In addition to expanding followers worldwide and being heard by the corresponding entities. Digital cleanup movement. This movement seeks to draw attention to digital pollution and its impact on the environment. Did you know that someone who participates in 15 hours of online meeting with their camera on creates 9.4 kilograms of CO2 a month? If that same person would have had his and her camera off, that simple action would have saved the same number of emissions that are created by charging a smartphone each night for 1151 days. As, as mentioned in the article, the overlooked environmental footprint of increasing internet use, the effect of constantly using digital to have a real repercussion into our community through CO2 emissions. Therefore, the Digital Cleanup Organization has us guide to help us in order to deal correctly with our digital trash. Step one is to know what is trash and what is in. Step two is to match our digital what's. Step three is to organize a digital cleanup. And finally, step four, implement practice that help control the digital waste issue.
To continue, the objectives of these movements to clean up the world is to raise awareness about what we use and where we throw away what is not useful and harmful to the environment. Um, I would like to I would like to start by making a comparison between 20 years ago and today. Therefore, there were more open space on the planet today. There are less green space due to overpollution, and under the hand, it is necessary to ask ourselves about the rules of humans in nature. Evidently, humans have not been able to take care of the habitat where we live, because we we have not been able to manage what we throw away. Finally, our style has led to the extinction of the few remaining species in the world. For example, the predations of nature, of poaching, and environmental pollutions have led to climate changes, such as intense heat and depletions of fresh water. Um, this is the wide rule of cleanup movements around the world is important because through their role in raising awareness and reducing damage and by recycling for the good of humanity. This is why major companies are focusing on environmental products and making their consumer aware of the damage we can cause.
Now, I will proceed to talk about the book sharing movement. The main objective of this movement is to share and exchange books among the community through small wooden mailboxes. This movement encourages people of different ages to read. No dates a person can get a book easily, thanks to this movement. In addition, people can read the books without costing them to use them. In other words, it helps people to become educated through free reading. This is a relevant point because it can help people who are not well off to have the freedom to learn through this beautiful resource. Finally, the most important thing is that it encourages all books not to be thrown away and to be resold. To make this possible, they set up this library in an abandoned factory. The goal was the people of the town, but about all the help the children to feed their minds more and more.
In this part, we present our Venn diagram where we compare the objectives and impacts of this movement.
Mm. The three movements mentions about the first one focuses on digital cleanness and where we should get rid what we don't use to the keep what is really useful. And the second one referred to global cleanness, Beijing one of the biggest problems in the world. And finally, the book shares movement that contributes to educations of people limited resource.
To conclude, the purpose of this whole presentation is to inform everyone about this movement that can make a difference in a locality as it improves the education of future generations. In the future, I hope that in our country people can cultivate through this movement. Thanks for your attention. Ya, esperemos que haya salido más chiquito. ¿Qué?